My biggest blessing was being in prison for 5.5 years and coming out and being able to just analyze society and people's motives and their behavior. Like, I had the privilege of being removed from society, removed from your conditioning, removed from these shameful tactics that manipulate your behavior, removed from the judgment that's placed on people. I had a different setting I had to deal with. But when I came out, it was so obvious to me who was trustworthy, who I could somewhat trust, and who was just completely full of crap. 90% of the stuff you see on the media, you hear professionals spewing, it's all stuff that they were told was true, but it's not actually true. Like doctors, they went to school, they read books, they studied things that they were told were true, now they believe they're true. It doesn't mean they actually are, okay? Like, it doesn't. Welcome back to another episode of the Unstoppable Mindset Podcast. I'm your host, Sean Crane. You guys, I'm a free thinker. I'm not a sheep. Are you a free thinker, or are you a sheep that just bought into the way things have been done and you just do what you're told? I think more now than ever in 2025, people are waking up and recognizing that banks, government, even doctors, they're not 100% accurate and right all the time. In fact, challenging them or being a free thinker and being open-minded is very intelligent. You see COVID and now all the information that's coming out about the things that were done or said in COVID that weren't true, the restrictions and restraints that were put on you and your family that were just somebody's best guess, 6 feet apart, masks, but then you can sit right next to someone on an airplane. It just doesn't make sense, And so I've just been someone that has healthy skepticism. You want to believe in people, but you also want to confirm and verify what they're saying is true. And when you grow up, man, you just assume like doctors got your best interests at heart. They know what they're doing. That's what they went to school for. The food that we're eating, of course it's healthy. Like, why would they give us poison? The pesticides they use, yeah, they've tested all that stuff. Come to find out, everything is negatively impacting you and I. Everything. The air that we breathe. They just came out and said, yeah, chemtrails are a real thing. At once that was a conspiracy theory, right? We just found out that all the dyes and additives in foods, yeah, they could cause things like cancer and other life-threatening ailments. And now there's been a lot of focus around vaccines since RFK came into office. He's the first one that brought attention to vaccines in a way that creates healthy skepticism, okay? The amount of vaccines that children get now compared to 30, 40, 50 years ago has gone up astronomically, okay? They're bundling these vaccines together. They're giving your child 2, 3, 4, 5 shots, vaccines all in one shot. And the thing that really stood out to me, I'm trying to remember where I first heard this. It might have been from RFK. But, the issue and concern around the Hep B vaccine that they give a newborn within 48 hours of being born. Before hearing RFK bring this healthy skepticism to light, parents just assume whatever your kid's getting shot with or done when they're born is to prevent them from dying, right? You don't want your child to die. You want to protect your child. You want to trust the nurses. You want to trust the doctors. Can you trust the pharmaceutical companies though, right? Because then, someone brought this to my attention the other day, and it was a really, really good statement I think that you should consider. Pfizer, these big pharmaceutical companies that have billions, if not trillions of dollars in resources, they've never cured one disease. Pfizer, how do you say their name? They've never cured one disease in all their years of business, with all their resources, with all their capital. They've never cured one disease. Isn't that kind of odd that the company that provides vaccines and quote unquote Band-Aids for certain ailments haven't actually fixed the root cause of those ailments? And from a business standpoint, why would they? That'd be like, if I got every single person on the planet healthy and fit and they never need a fitness coach again, I'd be out of business. Well, that's what I'm trying to do, right? I'm not a corrupt, shady motherfucker like a lot of these greedy people out there. I actually want to help people. And the reality of it is, Big Pharma doesn't. You're just a number. You're just a digit in their bank account. Same with these food companies. And you can even say the government to an extent. Like, why, if you were the government, would you allow your people to be poisoned by these foods that have been demonstrated to be carcinogenic and cause all these ailments? You get sick, then Big Pharma gives you a pill, and now you're a reoccurring customer for life. I don't know, man, but without going down the rabbit hole, let's go back to the Hep B vaccine. So evidently, you can only get hepatitis B through unprotected sex, which newborn babies obviously aren't doing, okay? And intravenous drug use, putting a needle in your arm, drug addicts, doing heroin, shooting up meth, right? Why would a newborn baby need hepatitis B vaccine? They say, oh, it's to prevent liver damage. And well, if you look at the research, if a child's mother who is tested multiple times before delivery and giving birth does not have hepatitis B, the chances of them actually getting the virus are like 0.000001 in a billion. Now, don't quote me on that. I made that statistic up. But the point is, it doesn't make sense. And mothers, parents, doctors even have been bringing this attention to light. And people just say, oh, you're a conspiracy theorist. Oh, trust the doctors. Trust the vaccine. It works. It saves lives. Almost shaming people. This is dangerous. You guys pay attention. It's good to be a free thinker. It's good to question authority, right? If you don't question authority, that's how you have an abuse of power. And that's what has happened, especially in the health industry, right? Nobody is coming out saying anything for years and years and years because they're scared to be labeled a conspiracy theorist, fired from their job, blacklisted. So they just go along with the way things have done. And if you come out and speak your mind, oh, you're a horrible human being. Same thing happened in COVID, right? You remember all those lunatics that would say, oh, wear your mask. Don't go outside. Don't get out in God's fresh air and beautiful sunshine. Like, stay inside, get locked up, like binge watch, what was that show? The fucking Tiger Man or something, right? And drink alcohol. That's why domestic violence went through the roof. Relapse went through the roof for drugs and alcohol. And we have all these statistics that show that locking yourself up inside your house was the worst fucking thing you could do. After that, people are like, you know what? Clearly, our best interests aren't at heart here. And now more and more people are finally starting to be open-minded and free thinkers. You know, my biggest blessing was being in prison for 5.5 years and coming out and being able to just analyze society and people's motives and their behavior. Like, I had the privilege of being removed from society, removed from your conditioning, removed from these shameful tactics that manipulate your behavior, removed from the judgment that's placed on people. I had a different setting I had to deal with, but when I came out, it was so obvious to me who was trustworthy, who I could somewhat trust, and who was just completely full of crap. 90% of the stuff you see on the media, you hear professionals spewing, it's all stuff that they were told was true, but it's not actually true. Like doctors, they went to school, they read books, they studied things that they were told were true. Now they believe they're true. It doesn't mean they actually are, okay? Like, it doesn't. So anyway, finally, the CDC came out and they said, you know what? Newborn babies don't have to get the Hep B vaccine. They don't have to. It's not mandatory. All that commotion, all that rhetoric, all the blacklisting, all the conspiracy theorists, just like that, they're like, you know what? Yeah, they don't have to. For the CDC to do that is profound. And that sets a precedent for RFK, his administration, and these researchers, whoever's vetting the vaccines, to go through now and look at all the mandatory vaccines and question, do our children actually need this amount of stuff put in their body throughout their young developmental years? Like, are these substances, are these vaccines, could they be detrimental? I mean, we've seen autism rates go up. We've heard of stories of people being vax injured. Now more and more people are coming out and starting to share their experiences. And the thing is, like, we need to look into the fact that child vaccines are mandatory just for a young person to go through elementary school. And not in every state, not in Florida, but in California. So it's like you have these disparities among states, and it's just confusing for people. We as parents just want to know who to trust, how to take care of our children the best way. And like, is putting these vaccines and these shots in them actually putting them more at risk? That's the last thing we ever want to do. So I'm thankful and grateful for people like RFK, the MAHA movement, bringing attention and awareness to the food we're eating, the vaccines that we're putting in our children, and really our approach to health and quality of life, because we just want the best quality of life for our young people. So you guys, the moral of the story is, like, you'll see this happen a lot. Something that was, oh, this is 100% the way it's supposed to be done. There's nothing outside of our information that shows it needs to be done any other way. Like, you know, don't go against us or we're going to blacklist you. We're going to make you feel ashamed. We're going to outcast you. All of a sudden you see people change up their tune. This isn't the first time it happens. It happens all the time. You're going to continue to see new information come to light. And just remember, man, the best thing you can do as a parent, as a person in society right now, is be open-minded, be a free thinker. Don't be a sheep.